Hi YouTube, welcome back. Do you have a lot of hot peppers you need to do something with? Well, stay tuned and I'll show you what you can do with them. If your garden turned out anything like mine, you ended up with a lot of hot peppers at the end of the season that you had to pull out right before frost. So now I have a whole bunch that I need to preserve. Obviously, we're not going to eat these all while they're fresh. We have to do something with them. So today I'm going to show you 4 different ways to preserve your hot peppers. The first and easiest way is to just freeze them. Peppers, even the sweet ones, not just the hot ones, are so easy to freeze. You don't even have to blanch them. And if we're talking hot peppers, most of them are small. You don't even have to cut them up. You could pop them in there whole. You know, take the ones that are green that you pulled right before frost. As they ripen, as they start to turn, then pop them in the freezer. Done. Real easy. I just keep mine in a Ziploc bag because it's not going to last all that long for me. Because I'll take a couple out and put them in a batch of chili or whatever as I need them. If you want them to last a little bit longer, you might want to use a vacuum seal bag, or you might want to use a freezer-safe glass jar. But as preservation methods go, it's the easiest. The second thing that you can do with your hot peppers is to ferment them. I am working on a fermented batch of hot peppers here. This is actually my very first one. So I will link this video up in the corner so you can check it out. However, don't necessarily just watch my video if you're going to start fermenting for the first time, because this is my first time. It's great to watch someone else, see if the train wrecks or if it actually makes it to the station or not. But do some research before you start. Basically, it's just putting your peppers in a salt water brine, and you leave them there at room temperature until they're done fermenting, which there are many different factors that will affect how long it takes. It could be several days, it could be a couple of weeks. Basically, you're looking for the bubbles to stop. And I've still got bubbles, so they're still brewing in there. The third way you can preserve your hot peppers is to can them. Now, this is just a simple pickling recipe out of the Ball book with water and vinegar and some garlic. I halved it. The original recipe called for 6 cups of vinegar and 2 cups of water. I did 3 cups of vinegar and 1 cup of water because I don't have a whole lot here. That's calling for like almost 3 pounds of peppers. So I'm not using as much liquid. I'm putting them in little 4-ounce jars because we don't use a whole lot at one time anyway. And I'm doing all serranos, but I'm leaving the seeds in and slicing into little slices. That's all. It's very easy. I will link the recipe below, of course. And I'm going to finish cutting these up. So I ended up with about 3 cups of sliced peppers. I've got my 4-ounce jars getting hot in here. I've got my 3 cups of vinegar and 1 cup of water and several little tiny cloves of garlic. They say 3 cloves for the regular size recipe, and this has 4 really tiny ones. But I like garlic flavor. I'm fine with more garlic. I am letting this come up to a boil, and then I will fish out the garlic and put it in with the peppers. This is a cold pack thing, recipe. So the peppers will go into the hot jars and then the hot liquid on top of the jars. And then we process for 10 minutes, I believe. Very simple. Now we're just packing into these cute tiny little jars.
They're tiny.
It says a ½ inch. Let's turn my timer off. It says a ½ inch headspace for anyone wanting to do this recipe. I will also link it below, of course. I think I said that already, though. And I think, yes, I will need more jars. Just need more shelves.
This is a statement. Mommy has too much canning jars.
Nope.
Yes.
No, I need more canning jars.
No. You already have half it. No, 3/4 of a shelf filled with just canning jars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should see some of the people's pantries. That certainly is not enough to feed 6 people for a year. So, not enough. Yeah, that's the idea. We're not there yet, but that's the idea. So, once you get your jars packed, then you just take your pickling liquid. And it doesn't take much for these tiny little jars.
Half a spoon for every little jar.
You cover with your lid.
They look so good. By the way, these are homegrown peppers.
Yes, these are homegrown.
At her garden.
Fingertip tight. Process for 10 minutes. All done. Well, the fourth and last way to preserve your hot peppers is another one of the easiest, but this one has its consequences. Dehydrating peppers is really easy. If you have a small pepper, you don't even have to cut it. You just pop the whole thing in there. It's easier to de-seed before you dehydrate them, but you don't have to. I am dehydrating all of my yellow pencil hot peppers because I need to save seed out of them, which cuts them up differently. You can't just slice it like the pretty pickled ones. But you need to cut off the very end, just a little bit, the blossom end, and you cut off a little bit of the stem end. And because I'm saving seed, I'm slicing down the middle, like that, and then you can open up and easily scoop out your seeds. Then I just cut it into little thin strips, like these. I do cut them pretty small because if I'm just sprinkling a little bit in for just a tiny bit of heat, it's easier for the kids to be able to eat them if they're tiny little pieces. They don't really notice them then. Then I dice. And I put them on these trays. I don't have the mesh screen inserts for my dehydrator, but I did get these because I do want to make fruit leather, although I never got around to doing that this year, but next year. So you just spread them out. You do not have to blanch them or anything else. You can just spread them out on your tray and you're good to go. About 135 to 140, some sites even say 145 degrees, and it goes for about 8 to 12 hours usually. These are pretty thin, so I'm gonna start checking them around 6 hours. Now, as for the consequences, you're dehydrating these, so that moisture is getting sucked out of them and then pushed out of the air vents of your dehydrator into the air you're breathing. Some people have a really hard time being around it when it's going on. So this time I'm trying it while everyone is asleep in their room. So no one is near this area. They're all upstairs, over there, in their rooms, usually with the door shut anyway. And we're going to see if that works better. Otherwise, I'm going to get some crying children in the middle of the night, and I'll have to come open windows. But we're going to try this out and see how it works. And of course, as with any time you're cutting hot peppers, don't forget your gloves. It will burn your skin, and you won't notice it at first. So you'll be several peppers in, at least, if not already done chopping, before you notice that your hands are on fire. Yeah, trust me. And that was only a couple peppers, and my hands were on fire for hours. But they didn't start until about an hour after I was done. I didn't think just like 3 peppers would do it. It does. So wear your gloves. Safety first. So thanks for coming along with me. There are other ways to preserve peppers. I've heard of people putting them in oil and stuff, but I don't know much about those. These are the ones I'm doing, so I'm sharing it with you guys. Thanks for coming along with me. And remember, life's an adventure. Thanks for joining me in mine. God bless.